Holy shit. How did we get here, folks? How did we get here? I'm in disbelief of what this season has been. And as you can see, I'm going to do a segment on a season never to be forgotten. We're going to take some of the craziness of this season because this has been mind-blowing. This season, in all the years that I've watched Edmonton Oilers hockey since I was about 6 years old, to the ripe age of, I won't even tell you how old I am. I've never seen a season like this. And tomorrow night, the Oilers are playing for it all. They're playing for the Stanley Cup. And not only are they playing for the city of Edmonton and Oiler Nation, but they're playing for the country of Canada. So I coined this episode, Drag Stanley Back to Canada. Now, I know not all Canadians are on board for the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup. I know there's a lot of Canadians that still resent them. But I also know there's a lot of Canadians out here in BC who are Vancouver Canucks fans that are actually rooting on the Edmonton Oilers. So I'm going to give you guys a big salute. Because with 100% honesty, if Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, even Calgary, Vancouver, Winnipeg, whoever was in this position, I would actually be cheering them on. It's been way too long since a Canadian team has brought the Stanley Cup to Canadian soil or won by a Canadian team. Even though it's mostly Canadians that are actually winning the cup, which is a good thing, it's always U.S. market teams that are winning it. And let's hope tomorrow night, let's hope everything plays out and the Edmonton Oilers are having a Stanley Cup party in the city of I can't believe I'm saying this. You take me back to November, man, I lost all belief. And ever since that point, even when they were down 3-0 in this series, I never lost 100% belief. Did I say on my episodes they have a big uphill climb? Yes. But I never, ever discarded them, especially what I saw in November, because I was ready to wear a paper bag over my face back in November. Whew, it's hard to believe that we are in this position in Game 7 for the Stanley Cup Final with the ups and downs that this season has had. So hard to believe. So we're going to recap what got us here, Game 6. I'm also going to go into a season never forgotten, which is going to kind of document the highs and lows of the 2023-24 NHL season. Line combos, I have them still posted as the previous ones. I have the page up here if it does change. The only thing I'm hearing right now is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was not at practice. He's dealing with some sort of illness. Evander Kane filled him in, so let's hope that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will be available for tomorrow, but he was not at practice today. That's the only update I have. And like I say, when I get into the lines, I'm going to refresh this page just to see if there is any update regarding line changes or combinations at all. But let's dive into the Panthers and Oilers Game 6 in what I have to say is the loudest crowd of 20,000 or less I've ever heard in my entire life. They were saying it was bordering 110 decibels, which is comparable to a jackhammer, which for long exposure can actually cause ear damage. That's how loud it was. So kudos to you guys. For cheering on the Oilers. I wish I could be there. I wish I could be at one of the games. There's two reasons why I can't. First of all, I can't afford the tickets, as they are ridiculous. And second of all, I do live in Vernon, British Columbia, but I feel the Oil Nation all the way out here, so I'm good with that. Anyway, guys, let's get into the game that was Oilers, Panthers, Game 6, Rogers Place on Friday night. And we're going to start off, obviously, with how I always start off, the scoring summary. And it was a very similar structure as Game 5, kind of the same tempo of goals, same period of goals, and that as Warren Fogle would start out the scoring, getting his third from an absolute beauty of a sauce pass from Leon Draisaitl, who has been struggling. And from what I understood, he practiced for, I think, a half hour to an hour after practice, just that sauce pass. And it paid off in big dividends. Brett Kulak getting the third assist. We have a 1-0 game at 7:27 of the first period. And I explode off the couch. The Oilers would make it 2-0. And again, very similar to Game 5. This time it would be Adam Henrik from Matthias Janmark and Matthias Ekholm. Both Matthias is getting on the board. This is 46 seconds into the second period. We have a 2-0 game. I'm feeling good. But I'm still trying to tamper my feelings because things can change quite quickly in the game of hockey. And even with this third goal, I was still a little bit hesitant on declaring. Like, I didn't want to declare a winner until basically the last minute. Zach Hyman getting his 16th from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, his 15th assist. Now, this 16th goal by Zach Hyman, it's interesting because I was watching the SDP podcast, the Steve Dangle podcast with Adam Wilde and Jesse Blake. And they mentioned that if you take Zach Hyman's goals from the season and from the playoffs, he actually tied Austin Matthews for goals. Bet Toronto's missing Zach Hyman quite a bit right now. So kudos to Mr. Hyman. And I can honestly say with 100% certainty, the best free agent signing Ken Holland has done. 100%. So now we are at 3-0. It would become a 3-1 game when Alexander Barkov gets his 8th from Carter Verhaeghe and Dmitry Kulikov. I want to also revert back to after that second goal, because after that second goal, a very, very significant incident happened. As 10 seconds later, I believe it was Barkov, he scored a goal. The Oilers challenged, and by the narrowest, and I'm talking the narrowest of margins, the goal was called back due to offside. That play, and we're going to get into that when I get into the Stars, but that call alone could very well have won the Edmonton Oilers a Stanley Cup, could be the main reason why they did not lose it. Because if that would have went the other way, it's a 2-1 game, and the Oilers are also defending off a power play from Florida. Now, the penalty kill is absolutely amazing right now. Let's hope it continues in game number 7 tomorrow night. But yeah, that one decision could have been horrendous. So yeah, reverting back to that, I forgot to mention that. But anyway, Barkov would score here. This would be from Carter Verhaeghe and Dmitry Kulikov. We have a 3-1 game. The Edmonton Oilers would make it 4-1 when Ryan Nugent-Hopkins would get the empty netter from Warren Fogle. This pretty much iced it. This is when I was saying, okay, I think we got it. But with 100% certainty, I knew it was iced. When Stuart Skinner scoops out the puck from in back of him, perfect tape-to-tape pass from to Darnell Nurse. He plinks it home. Both Stuart Skinner and Philip Broberg get their first assist of the playoffs on that one single play. And it's 5-1. The Oilers come back from a 3-0 deficit to tie the series 3-3 to have a Game 7 tomorrow night, the last and final NHL game of the 23-24 season. And let's hope. Let's keep things even keel. Anything can happen. Florida's not going to go down without a fight. but neither is McDavid. So it's going to be it's going to be a very interesting game. Let's get into the stats of the game. And of course, I got one of the most known fans. I forgot what his name was. If you guys can type in and let me know what his name was, but he's been on most of the channels, well lit up, well advertising the Oilers colors. He's gone to Florida and back. So I thought I would throw him in for it. The statistical breakdown, we'll start off with shots on goal. 21-21 split. So no one had the advantage on shots on goal in this one, as they totally split it down the middle. And you look, 21-21. That's two teams defending very, very hard when it's only 21 and 21. Only a total of 42 shots throughout the whole game. That shows you a lot, because a lot of games have one team with 42 shots. As far as the hits go, Panthers out hitting the Oilers by over a 2-1 margin of 44-21. Comes to the face-off win percentage. I think this was the first game in the series. The last two series, the Edmonton Oilers have really struggled on the dot, and including this series, but I think this was the first game out of the series where they actually had the advantage on the face-off, winning 52.9% of them. The power play, Oilers 0 for 2. I wish they would have got one, but it's not a big deal, because as long as they can keep the penalty kill going at full tilt, again, another 3 for 3. That's the second game in a row, 100% on the penalty kill. Way to go, boys. The penalty kill is kicking ass. It's simple as that. Like, we praised them last year about how good the power play was. The penalty kill this year is absolutely stunning. This team is united. This team is the most united I've seen them since the 80s. And I can honestly say that they just know how to play for each other, if you know what I mean. So that's your penalty kill. Block shots, 22-11 for the Edmonton Oilers. We go a little bit deeper. Skinner, 952 save percentage. Bobrovsky, 842. So right there, I mean, I don't know how it's all going to unfold, but right there with Bobrovsky slipping down, you got to give the Conn Smythe to McDavid no matter what the outcome is tomorrow. And if you don't, it's a criminal act. For what McDavid has pulled off in this playoff series, playoff in general, you got to give it to him. You got to, no matter what, win or lose, he's got to be the Conn Smythe winner. But let's hope it's a win. Let's hope it's a win. I'm not trying to jinx him. Let's go into our stars. Now, the stars for this episode is going to be a little bit different, and you're going to see shortly why. I didn't write any stats for Zach Hyman. So Zach Hyman was my third star. I do believe he had a goal and assist, if that's what it was. Or I'm not sure. I failed to write down his stats, guys. Sorry about that, but he was my third star. I am going to give the second star to Stuart Skinner with a 952 save percentage. Saving 20 for 21. Great effort on his part. And then Warren Foegele, 1 goal, 1 assist. And just an incredible night. A beautiful feed from Leon Draisaitl to give him that 1 goal. He gets my number 1 star, but I'm going to go a level above today for the one rare moment. And these rare moments are going to be extremely rare. I'm actually going to issue a supernova. And the supernova is Noah Segal, the video coach of the Edmonton Oilers, for having the balls to make that call to get the offside goal called back. That's gutsy, man. That is gutsy, because I looked at all the replays. I couldn't tell. No matter how many times I looked at that replay, I could not determine if that was in fact offside. And knowing the Oilers' history, it usually goes against them. So congratulations, Noah. What an amazing call. So there you have it. Once in a while, when I see something that is just out of the realm, I will do a supernova, and that's going to be very rare. That's the first time I've ever done it, and I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but it's one of those things that deserves a lot of acknowledgement, because that game very much could have changed in a heartbeat if it would have went in that, or if that goal would have been allowed. Okay, guys, it's been a year. It's been an amazing year. A years of highs, a years of lows, a years of expectations, a year of they're not going to get anywhere. They're out of the playoffs. They're done. McDavid, Draisaitl are going to split. All sorts of stuff we've heard. Let's review some of the stuff that has happened in the 2023-24 NHL season. So this recap will actually go back to, believe, last May. And in last May, the Oilers were eliminated by the Vegas Golden Knights when Connor McDavid, in his post game, basically said, "Cup or bust." And it was followed up by Leon Draisaitl. So from that moment, I've always had a belief that, yeah, if they don't get it done this year, we're going to see this team dismantle, and we're going to be basically on a rebuild mode without a cup. I can't state if that's going to happen or not after this season. The salary cap's going up, but I'll tell you what, it's going to leave, if they win the cup tomorrow, for both sides, for management side and for the player side, there's going to be a change of feeling, and maybe the players are willing to maybe take a bit of a haircut to stay together. Maybe management are going to be able to figure out how they can assemble a team for next year and the years to come to get us a second or third, or obviously, if we don't get a cup tomorrow, I think a lot of things will change. So I'm going to refer to it as the second and third cups, possibly fourth or fifth. Who knows how far it can go. But it all started on May 16th with the cup or bust comment by Connor McDavid. They go into the season with high expectations, only to get a season debut blowout by the Vancouver Canucks on October 11th. And everyone in Edmonton, including myself, are going, what the was that? I was about to say it, but we all were beginning to wonder, what the hell was that? Jack Campbell looked horrendous, and this would be the start of what would end up being Jack Campbell being placed on waivers and playing the remainder of the season for the Condors, and us relying on Calvin Pickard as a backup and Stuart Skinner as our number one. And it would also lead to what would happen next. October 29th, the Battle of Alberta, the Heritage Classic, the second time this event was held in Edmonton. I happened to take in the very first ever, which was the very first ever outdoor game of any sorts through a regular season. They did play a preseason outdoor game prior to 2000, I think it was 2001 when they did the first one. But yeah, this was the first regular season game back in 2001. And then they would rematch, and it happens to be the Battle of Alberta, which is so fitting. But at this point in time, we already started seeing a taste of what the Oilers were bringing this season. We still had a lot of concern. And I think a lot of us, I remember going into this game saying the Oilers better win at least that game, because at that point in time, they already had something like only 3 wins or 2 wins or something like that. But they were not playing very well. They end up winning that game, which was, thank goodness for that. However, on November 12th, the cards would fall. Woodcroft would be out. Knobloch would be in. I remember doing my episode saying, here we go again, another coaching carousel, and being disappointed because that's all I've seen in the last 12 years is 2 years in, out. 2 years in, you're out. 2 years in, you're out. 2 years in, you're out. And it's been just constant carousel of coaches. However, this coach would prove to be very, very different and would win over Edmonton Oilers fans very, very quickly, as on January 8th, he would set a NHL record, being the first ever NHL coach in the history of the game to record 2 7-game or more streaks in the first 25 games of his tenure. Achieving that accomplishment, and I don't know if he was in the Jack Adams conversation this time, or if I'm sure the awards have been, I can't remember who won it. I don't even think he was in the conversation, but he should have been, just for that alone. An absolute stunner to do that. And one of those streaks would happen to be, let me just take a look at what I wrote down here. So the 2 streaks he had would be from November 24th to December 12th, and then the 16-game streak from December 21st to January 27th. And of course, the Vegas Golden Knights would cut the Oilers shy of an NHL record of 18, which was owned by the Pittsburgh Penguins, and still is owned by the Pittsburgh Penguins. But just an amazing job. At this point in time, I think Oil Nation, every Oiler fan in the world, forgot about Woodcroft pretty quick. I mean, theoretically. We go to March 24th, 2024, where Zach Hyman hits 50 goals for the first time in his career. Another remarkable and stunning event that this season has produced. On June 3rd, 2024, the Edmonton Oilers win the Western Conference Championship by defeating the Dallas Stars and moving on to play who they are playing right now, the Florida Panthers, for what we hope to witness tomorrow night, and that is the Stanley Cup. Winner take all tomorrow night. What a remarkable and crazy year. I will never forget this year until the day I pass. I mean, you don't have seasons like this. And to put into perspective, the last time, if the Oilers should win tomorrow, the last time a team has ever accomplished being down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final to take it all was in 1942, and it was the Toronto Maple Leafs. An absolute stunning set of events, circumstances, whatever you want to word it. I'm going to be a wreck again. I've been through the last 3 games. I'm going to be a nervous wreck. I just hope that the Oilers can get a healthy lead early so I can calm my nerves down, and just kind of calm them down, but still always have it in the back burner. We still might lose it, but just calm it a little bit down. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be good. Oiler Nation, you guys are in for a treat tomorrow night. All of us fans are. The ones that are going to be attending the game who are Oiler fans, you are witnessing potentially something of historic proportions. I can't state that enough. All right, guys, let's move on. So let's go into the poll and results, and it is very related to the events of this season. You can dive into my community page by scanning that QR code, and it will give you the options. What is your favorite moment thus far in the 23-24 NHL season? So scan that QR code or just manually type it in, and it'll take you directly to my YouTube page to vote. I'd love to hear your votes. As for the previous votes, 100% of you guys think Connor McDavid should win the Conn Smythe Trophy tomorrow night. And I think it has been even more solidified now that Bobrovsky had that 840 some performance. Now I'm expecting him to play extremely well tomorrow night. Let's hope Skinner can hold up, and let's hope that the team in front of him will close as much potential access to him as possible, and that we are celebrating a Stanley Cup victory in the city of Edmonton, in Oiler Nation, in the country of Canada. It's gonna be fun tomorrow night, guys. It's gonna be really, really fun. Okay, let's go into the line combos and league leaders. I'm gonna just check one more time here if there has been any changes to the lineups while I've been shooting this broadcast. So let's just refresh this here. Now, June 20th for the Panthers still, and the Edmonton Oilers are still June 15th, Jack Michael. So essentially, everything that I basically said for the last episode still follows suit. We're going to wait to see with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, because today, apparently, he is the only player that was not at practice because he's dealing with some sort of illness. Hopefully, he takes care of it for tomorrow night. Kane was in the lineup in his replacement, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, again, Warren Foegele is going to be with McDavid and Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins with Draisaitl, Holloway, Janmark with Henrique Brown, McLeod with Derek Ryan, and Corey Perry. Comes to the Florida Panthers. It will be Carter Verhaeghe with Barkov and Reinhart, Rodriguez with Bennett and Tkachuk, Lesteraren, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Lundell and Tarasenko, Lomberg, Steinlen, and Nick Cousins will be together on that lineup. As far as the defensive pairings go, Ekholm is with Bouchard, Nurse with Broberg, Kulak with Ceci. And I got to give props to Broberg. I've been pretty hard on him, calling him a pylon, calling him this, that, and the other thing. He's actually looked really good. Knobloch, I don't know how he has this sense of when to put guys in, but he's been nailing it all year round. And then when it comes to the Panthers, Forsling, Ekblad, Mikola, Montour, Ekholm, Larson, and Kulikov. The goaltenders stay the same with Skinner and Picard, and Bobrovsky and Stolarz. As far as the points, some slight changes in the point leaders. Hyman now with 15 goals, Draisaitl with 10, Johnson from Dallas with 10, Verhaeghe, Florida with 10, Reinhart with 9. And that's your goals for points. McDavid, 42 freaking points. Conn Smythe winner, 100%. Has to be. Like, how can it not be? Evan Bouchard, 32. Leon Draisaitl, 30. Matthew Tkachuk, 22. Hyman, 21. 42 points. Jesus. Your goaltenders. Shesterkin of the Rangers, 927. Ottinger of the Dallas Stars, 915. Bobrovsky, I like looking at this. 906, and I never actually updated it. He's actually gone down to 904, and I believe he's down to 904 or 903. And Stuart Skinner now is above. I never actually updated that because I was waiting for the line changes, and that was kind of all in the same envelope with my graphics. So I didn't change that out. But Stuart Skinner is now above 900. And we need him to play with the uttermost focus tomorrow night. One game takes all. That's it. One game, Stanley Cup winner. Simple as that. Is that it for that? I believe that is it, eh? Oh, no, plus minus. Forsling of Florida is a plus 13. Bouchard, a plus 12. Hyman, a plus 11. McDavid, plus 11. And then Tyler Scan, plus 9 of the Dallas Stars. And I think that's it now for that. Yeah, that's my Oiler forward lines. So now we're going to go to final thoughts and your comments. And I have noticed some of you guys have chimed in tonight, which is awesome. So this is going to be the last episode that I'm going to do with this structure for a couple of weeks. I'm going to come back in a couple of weeks doing a recap of not the final, because I'm going to do a small recap of the other structure. I know I'm mixing you guys up with structures and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to do a smaller version of the pre-games and the reviews. I'm not going to do it in this format that I have been doing it all year. This is going to be a new structure where it's only giving me once a week. However, I'm not going to do it for 2 weeks because I want to see what happens at the draft. I want to see the awards. I want to be able to put that into one episode in about 2 weeks. So that'll be the next time you see this structure. I will do a game recap, likely Wednesday or potential Thursday night of what happens. But anyway, some of your comments. Let's check out what you guys had to say. Brendan Bosma, go Oilers, go. You betcha. So I totally am on board with you. And I think you are probably one of my new subscribers. So welcome aboard. Renegade Man, one of the guys that is a constant. Flora had no chance to seal it in 4, 5, and 6. Now it's the Oilers' time. I hope so. Renegade Man. But what I've done throughout games 4, 5, and 6 thus far is said, you know what? Let's not think that this is in the bag. Let's just keep an open perspective. You know, Florida was in the Cup final last year. For them to lose it twice in a row, that's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. That being said, I've said this for a long time that Connor McDavid, it will not be denied this year. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a heavyweight tilt for the ages, though, 100%. And I don't care if Canada wins a cup. I care about my team winning a cup. Fair enough, Renegade Man. I'm with you on that. I'm happy it's the Oilers. That being said, like I said early on in the episode, if it was Vancouver playing for the Stanley Cup, I would be cheering for them too. And the reason why I say that is I was talking to a gentleman at the Costco in Kelowna, and he goes, you know, he saw me with my Oiler hat on, and he goes, you know, I am a Canucks fan, but I'm definitely cheering for a Canadian team to win that cup. And even one of my coworkers, who's a Calgary Flames fan, I asked him, hey, are you on board with the Oilers yet? He refused to say yes, but what he did say is go Alberta, go. So it kind of made me laugh when he said that. Renegade Man, once again, Skinner seems to do better when he plays more games. Bobby seems to be flustered right now. Yeah, 100%. But the thing is when Skinner does play a lot of games, because if you remember early on in the season, they yanked Campbell to the minors, and Skinner was getting the bulk of the load, but there was a few games that he did not look very good. Now, there's been a lot of change since Knobloch took over. There's a lot more precision, a lot more continuity, a lot more a collective group that is playing on the same page, and they're doing it for their captain too. McDavid is not a captain that yells or freaks out at people. He tries to lead by example, and I'm expecting McDavid to have a hell of a night tomorrow night. I am really expecting Leo to have a night tomorrow night. And I'm also expecting the team to just collapse anything that is coming into their zone. Bouchard, Draisaitl, McDavid will sign long-term deals. Sure, I'm pretty convinced that will happen, but they need to take a bit of a haircut, Renegade Man, because we need a collection to back them. And this year we got quite the collection. We need to be able to, I hate to say it, I'm almost convinced re-signing Connor Brown would not be a bad idea. But there's going to be players like, what about Evan Bouchard? He's on that bridge deal. He's going to command big dollars. That worries me. Can we get Adam Henrique back? There's going to be a lot of players. Corey Perry's on his way out and requiring another contract. And, well, I don't know. Corey Perry's also, if he comes back, it would have to be a very team-friendly, maybe league minimum contract, but we'll see. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap her up pretty quick here. Tomorrow night, the Edmonton Oilers will play for all the marbles. Is on the line tomorrow night. If you are new to this channel and you enjoy the content that I bring, feel free to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I intend on being with you guys next year full-time again. I'm going to do a few things over the summer, including rearrange this mess in the back and make it a little bit more cleaner. But other than that, man, let's go Oilers. Yeah.